Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I have a couple vendor fair signs that I'm going to make for a couple people. And I'm going to use these Dollar Tree blanks. And you'll see this one I had actually taken the hanger off because I was going to use it for something else. But instead, here we are. And I'll put a hanger back on it. I'll just use a staple gun. So I have already preloaded my vinyl. It is the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby, and I've just loaded a large portion on here onto a 12 by 24 mat, so I'll have all the space I need for cutting. And I have designed my cuts in Design Studio, and I'll show you these here. I've got one for walking apples. If you've never heard of those, they sound delicious, don't they? And one for apple cider. So here I'm just going to use my Maker 3, and I'm getting it loaded and getting it ready. So I'm going to select here what I want to cut with. So I don't have what I need. I'm going to type in premium vinyl because that's what I'm going to use. It's not smart vinyl. So I'm using the premium vinyl. It came back, said it was incompatible, but it is actually, so it's going to cut. So here just showing it is cutting. And it took a little bit because there's a lot of lettering and some detail on some things. So, and as I went to peel it off, I just did not do what I was supposed to, and I caused a wrinkle and everything, but it is okay. It's salvageable. It's not, I didn't destroy the cut. So just getting that little apple back in place, and I'm going to weed this out. And you'll see I end up doing a little surgery on a couple of these items that I've cut out today. Just removing this. So kind of skip forward for you there just a little bit to spare just a little bit of time. I know some of the weeding is very satisfying, but sometimes you just want to see the end product. So you can just see here I'm removing little details from the eyes on the apple, getting that ready. And it looks like I lost the eye on the walking part. So, I've got a little wrinkle here on the leg, so I'm just taking my weeding tool up under and ironing it back out, basically kind of pulling that wrinkle back out of it there. So, but like I'm pointing out there, I lost the eye. I went back through and on this vinyl, there is no way possible to see where that went. It was just a sliver, it looks like. I didn't realize it was going to be that thin. So I will remove that part, and I'm just showing here. I'm going to cut that out, and I will just redo that piece. I end up changing the sizing on that too when I do that. So I keep it there for reference just in case I didn't want to abandon it completely. So I think that's going to look nice there on the side. So get myself some transfer tape, and I'm just going to use a couple scrap pieces. I didn't want to use anything that was brand new transfer tape because this being unfinished wood and not a super high grade of it, it's Dollar Tree, of course, and it's more MDF with like a wood face on it. So just going to get this lined up like I want on the cover carrier sheet, or transfer tape, I'm sorry, and using the backing there to line it up, and I get it like I want, and then I use this other little scrap piece here. I'm just piecing them together. If you overlap two pieces, you can make a bigger piece basically out of that. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just getting that like I want it to be. I burnish that down. And it shouldn't take a whole lot because this actually lifts pretty good, this Paper Studio vinyl. It's not quite as hard to finesse off of there as you've seen some of the smart vinyl I've used. So just going to go ahead and place it. And at this time, I didn't realize like the L on apple should have looked there and just barely fudged it over. I wanted it centered, and it is. But the L in apple does end up lining up on one of those little cracks. And it's okay. I just placed it down in the crack basically. So you can see I realized, oh, here it comes up. So I'm kind of using my fingernail to iron it down in there just a little bit, and it does take a little bit to get it like I want. So I'm just going to help it along. I'm going to use the weeding tool to assist it as well to kind of keep it in that little crack. So I guess it's kind of a faux shiplap kind of look to it. And this is also why I did not want to use a new piece of transfer tape. I wanted it to be able to carry that on over really quickly and easily. So get those over there. And I'm real happy with how that looks. So just a simple sign. I didn't use, fancy makings there for the font. I do make the walking apple turn out, a little bit differently for its font, and then this actual walking apple here that I'm burnishing down on this transfer tape, it is just a cut file that was in Design Space, Cricut Design Space. If you're not familiar with that, that is a software that comes with your machine. Now you can use it without having Cricut Access, which is their monthly or annual subscription. I do have Cricut Access though, and I like it. I know there's other programs that you can use or other memberships that you can use to get things. I'm not selling this sign or anything. It was for a family member, and I was like, oh, you need a sign if you're going to do that. So I just, out of the goodness of my heart, just made them a sign so they could use it. They actually even returned it to me. So anyway, and then I recut the walking apple piece, and you're seeing here, it's weeding much better. I didn't lose the eye on it. So I'm just going to weed it out and get it transferred over. So I kind of fast forwarded there so you could see just getting it on the carrier sheet, and we'll get it placed. And this is so easy, something that you could do. You could take these signs though, and you could write on them, you could paint on them. And so it's really handy for $1.25. You've got kind of something that is a little bit more sturdy than poster board. Now it's not huge, but what it would do is once somebody is at your vendor booth, they're able to see that then, and it's a nice presentation. So anyway, really happy with how these end up turning out. There. And I used that glossy vinyl, and I'm happy that I did too. So it really did stand out on there. So in this one, this is my apple cider. And I made it for someone, as we say, their branding. So they have a certain font that we use for the Mia's Market font. And I really like the mug that was with the cut. And I did attempt at first to weed it and all that, but as I weeded it, I realized I'm gonna have a problem on it. So, and I had a problem here with the M, and it tried to double back. I got some surgery completed. I did lose my apostrophe, so I go back and redo that when I recut a mug. So I'm just gonna weed this out. Like I said, I attempt with the mug to do it, and then I quickly realized even if I got it weeded perfectly, which was not going terribly, but with the little, it had a plaid, anyway, with it, when I went to transfer it, I was worried that it might not stick there, so that could be a problem. So I just go ahead and get everything else transferred over, and I'll get it placed. Like I said, this just comes off so beautifully off of that carrier sheet when you're doing it. It's now on that transfer tape, and it's going to work very easily. So I saw a little place that I didn't like the wrinkle, because like I said, I pulled both of those off at the same time, and I made a wrinkle when I pulled it off of my cutting mat. It's not normally a habit that I have, but I did make a little whoops. And so anyway, and then I found a little middle there on the dollar sign where the little line goes to the S. I got those out of there. I found it when I was burnishing it down. I pointed that out. I don't know if you saw there, but anyway, just getting it off there. And vinyl, my goodness, even after doing these, I found a piece of vinyl on my shirt later. It just sometimes it's like that. So I could tell it was kind of flimsy there, so I'm just going to take another little piece of carrier or transfer tape and get it on there. That way you can kind of see it really really turned it into something more sturdy. So I'm just going to place it on, burnish it down. And this one was a little bit more tricky getting it to stay, the line and all that. It was a little tricky to get it on there. One of the things that you could do is you could use Mod Podge on there. That would fill those gaps in the wood, and it'll make it more smooth, and it'll make it to where the vinyl actually wants to stick. It is a thing though that with unfinished wood or unfinished surface, you might have that. So as I'm just ironing it back out with my finger there, and I'm just holding my transfer tape at a very sharp angle there. I'm nearly folding it in half and rolling it back to try to get that to stay. So here you can see where I had pieced it together. It's a few pieces, so it's going to come off in pieces too. That happens. And I'm not tore up about any of it. It worked okay. So I had another little piece of vinyl there, spare piece that was stuck to it. So I cleaned that up. And then I'm going to get the rest of that carrier sheet off here on this side. And then I'll be able to put my apostrophe in the mug that I recut. So that's what I was showing there, that I was going to remake a mug. So I did. I just went with a more simple design, and it stands out just as well. And I was thinking about it. The word I couldn't think about a while ago was buffalo check on the other mug. Like I said, super cute, and it probably would look really good. But if I'd layered it, that would have been different. Maybe it would have, transferred well. But like I said, I didn't want to go through all that on weeding it, only to realize that it does not stick because of all the tiny little lines. And so I'll get the apostrophe placed. And take another little piece of this scrap. I'm trying to use up all the little scrap pieces that I have. Some of them have been used, some of them haven't, so I've got little cut-offs. And I keep those on my cutting mat that my Cricuts sit on. It just they hide under there, like even big sheets can hang out there, so it's handy. And I'm just going to place that, and I think that looks super cute. So just burnish it down. And I decided that my scraper tool there was a little wide, so I pulled out the Cricut scraping tool. And I like that. So the hot cider was a cut in Design Space as well. But like I said, I had to change it a little bit when I couldn't put the mug over. So I just found another mug. So there they are, the finished results. And I hope you like this. And I was told the day that they used them, they worked very well. So I'm glad that was the end result. I appreciate you watching. So thank you all. Thank you to everyone. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up and please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you return. And please leave me a comment down below. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you later.